A panty raid?
The what?
I said, I guess you're gonna miss the panty raid.
Panty raid? You're talking about girls, right? Girls?
Yeah?
And you're talking about raiding their dressers for their underpants, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, count me in. Frilly things. We hit the jackpot.
Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs!
You probably watched this episode as a kid, but you'll never see it on TV again. Because what you just watched right now is one of the most infamous banned cartoon clips in history, SpongeBob's Panty Raid. This wasn't pulled from reruns, it was never meant to air at all. An internal test that leaked, creating a firestorm and forcing the network to publicly disown its own animation. It's the purest example of a cartoon too forbidden for TV. So why would a studio completely erase its own work? Why bury episodes forever? Well, you just saw one example, but the reasons span a shocking spectrum, and today we're breaking them into three explosive categories. The soft bans, quietly edited, but still visible. The hard bans, permanently deleted from existence. And the Holy Grail bans, so controversial, it reshaped television history. Your childhood had secrets. This is what they didn't want you to see. Alright, so let's ease into this with category 1. The soft bans. These are the episodes that weren't so much erased as they were quietly sent to the corner for a timeout. They're the ones that got edited, temporarily shelved, or slapped with a disclaimer. Still technically viewable, but with an asterisk the size of a billboard next to them. First up, from the amazing world of Gumball, we have the episode, The Skull. On the surface, it's classic Gumball chaos. But one particular sequence, where the boys try to break their lying habits by wearing electric shock collars, crossed a line for many broadcasters. In the scene, Gumball, Darwin, and their friend Clayton use remotes to zap each other as punishment for lying, leading to a cycle of painful shocks and deceit. Critics and networks felt a bit uncomfortably depicted children using a form of torture device humor, which clashed with the show's usual zany fourth wall breaking style. The controversy didn't get the episode pulled entirely, but it did trigger a selective edit. For many US airings and on platforms like HBO Max and Hulu, the shock collar scene was fully removed, while international broadcasts and some streaming services kept it intact. It's a perfect example of a modern soft cut, where content sensitivities lead to alternate versions, leaving the episode in the library, but with a permanent asterisk on its record. Then we have the classic from The Simpsons, Blame It on Lisa. Aired in 2002, this is the episode where the family's trip to Rio de Janeiro spirals into a parade of exaggerated stereotypes. The city is painted as a lawless carnival of chaos, riddled with kidnappings, overrun by monkeys and rats, and defined by its impoverished favelas. Even children's television is shown as bizarrely sexualized, while cultural inaccuracies like non-Brazilian dances pepper the plot. Well, Brazil noticed, and Brazil was not amused. The backlash was swift and fierce, with the National Tourist Board threatening legal action and the country's president condemning the distorted portrayal. The outrage prompted a formal apology from the show's producers. While never edited or banned outright internationally, the episode aired in Brazil with a disclaimer and remains seldom rerun there. It stands today as a permanent case study, a joke that sparked a very real diplomatic firestorm. A soft ban fueled entirely by the power of global offense. And for our third, let's swap to another kind of soft ban. One that's perhaps the most thoughtful of all. This time from Adventure Time with the episode Food Chain. Now this episode wasn't banned for content in a traditional sense. It's a psychedelic music romp through the circle of life directed by acclaimed animator Masaki Yuasa. So why is it here? Because of a scheduling ban. The episode's unique avant-garde animation style and its more philosophical, less plot-driven story were deemed potentially too confusing or weird for its regular time slot and core younger audience. It was pulled from the international broadcast rotation and instead treated as a special, later finding its home primarily through streaming and DVD releases. It's a soft ban of a different color, not about controversy, but about curation. The network didn't think it fit the mold, so they quietly reshuffled where and how you could see it. Now we move into much darker waters with Category 2, the hard bands. This is where the story shifts from editing suites to the digital shredder. These aren't episodes with disclaimers. These are episodes that have been completely and permanently pulled from official rotation, syndication, and streaming. First, let's talk about a band born from a chilling coincidence. It's the SpongeBob SquarePants episode, Kwarantined Krab. Its plot is exactly what it sounds like. A clam flu pandemic sweeps through Bikini Bottom, leading to a full quarantine of the Krusty Krab. Now, this episode was written and animated long before anyone had heard of COVID-19. It was simply another wacky SpongeBob premise, but its scheduled air date? Early 2020. The moment real-world headlines began mirroring the cartoon panic, Nickelodeon slammed on the brakes. It was deemed instantly, overwhelmingly, too soon. The episode was yanked from the schedule and has never aired. It exists, but only as a piece of production history. A permanent hard ban invoked not because of what was in the episode, but because of the terrifying reality that unfolded outside our windows. It's art imitating life a little too perfectly, and the network's response was to bury it. If that ban was about modern sensitivity, our next one is about pure, undeniable physical safety. We have to go back to 1997, to the single event that created the blueprint for a hard ban, the Pokémon episode Electric Soldier Porygon. This wasn't about offensive content. This was about a public health crisis. A sequence featuring intense, rapidly flashing red and blue strobe effects triggered something called photosensitive epilepsy in viewers. The result? Over 600 children in Japan reported seizures and other symptoms, landing many in the hospital. The reaction was immediate and global. The episode was pulled after that single airing in Japan and was never broadcast anywhere else in the world, ever. It is the original definitive hard ban, a decision driven not by morality, but by medicine. This episode single-handedly changed broadcast animation standards worldwide, leading to strict strobe effect guidelines. It's banned for the best reason possible, to prevent actual harm. Our final hard ban represents a foundational cartoon censor's dilemma. It's Dexter's Laboratory's unaired episode, Rude Removal. Here's the complex part. The 1998 episode features Dexter creating a machine to separate his and Dee Dee's rude traits into clones, and the humor hinges entirely on these alter egos spewing non-stop profanity. Every offensive word is comically bleeped out, framing the joke around the absurd censorship itself. For a single premiere, it aired with that context. But Cartoon Network immediately re-evaluated. The network decided that the comedic device, no matter how heavily bleeped, could not survive the obvious implication and the sheer volume of simulated swearing. The potential for controversy and misunderstanding was too great, so they made the call. The episode was permanently pulled from all broadcast and reruns after its debut. Aside from a few festival showings, it has never been officially released. It's a classic morality tale in animation. A hard ban that argues some boundary-pushing concepts, regardless of their satirical framing, cannot be broadcast on a children's network. But to understand the ultimate power of a ban, you have to know the story of the one they call the Holy Grail. We're not talking about episodes pulled for a season or hidden on a shelf. This is about the single most famous, culturally significant episode to be completely erased from the official record. It's the one that sparks the fiercest debate and changed the rules of the game forever. Our first contender is a tragic case of life imitating art with devastating consequences. This is the story of Beavis and Butthead and the infamous Comedians episode. In 1993, after a horrific house fire was linked to a young child who's supposedly been watching the show, all eyes turned to an episode where the duo, of course, start a fire. The media frenzy was immediate. MTV and creator Mike Judge didn't just pull the episode from rotation, they moved the entire show to a late night slot and excised all future fire-related gags from the series. But the shocker? Years later, it was revealed the child had never seen the show. His family didn't even have cable. This episode stands as a Holy Grail ban of a different kind. But the king of all bans, the undisputed Holy Grail, is the Simpsons episode Stark Raving Dad. For decades, the Michael Jackson guest starring classic was a beloved piece of television history. But after the damning Leaving Neverland documentary in 2019, the episode's legacy shattered. Showrunner Al Jean stated he now believed Jackson used his Simpsons appearance to groom and normalize himself with a younger audience. Whether you see this as an act of moral responsibility or revisionist censorship, the result was absolute. Jean and the producers chose to completely dissociate the show from the artist. The episode was purged, removed from syndication, deleted from streaming platforms, and excluded from future DVD sets. It's not just banned, it's been made to officially not exist. This decision ignited a fiery debate about preserving art versus condemning the artist, making it the most consequential cartoon ban in history. And that's our tour through television's forbidden archives. From the soft edits to the hard deletes, all the way to the legendary purge of a pop culture monument. It makes you wonder, what episode from today will be the next to vanish? Let me know your guesses. Subscribe, and thanks for watching.